love yourself up. I'm Jody Amen. I gotta get you hearing what you need to hear and get yourself back out there so you can get your kid to get up and do what you want them to do. I remember so much thinking that my parents didn't understand, and now I think I understand so much more than my kids give me credit for. What happens is sometimes when teens are starting to have their independence, they get a little bit overwhelmed with obligation and responsibility. And they're highly motivated to resist those things. So it's not like they're not motivated. They're very motivated to resist responsibility and obligation. Kids get so much anxiety about obligation. A lot of kids who have anxiety and they're not going to school, or they're having trouble doing this, or they're having trouble performing in school, a lot of times feel like obligation is a trap, and it feels completely, totally out of control to them. And they work really hard to resist that. So the fact that I know that they could work really hard tells me that they have motivation. Everybody has motivation, and they might have a lot of motivation to stay home and do nothing. So these are some things that you have to do to get your child motivated. Number one is have some confidence in them. You have to see some skill somewhere that they could do that's good. You have to notice these skills and reflect them back to them. You have to have some kind of confidence that they could do it. You want to believe it with your whole heart and soul. Because if you believe that they can't do it, but you're trying to make them do it, it's just not going to work. You have to believe that they can do it so that they can believe that they can do it and they can do it. And number two, you got to be the bridge. Yes, you can't do everything for them anymore. They have to start to do stuff for themselves. But sometimes you have to be the bridge and encourage them. You know, I've worked with a lot of kids who haven't had parents who really did much for them at all. You know, these kids are raising themselves from teenage years, and it's very hard to get your driver's license. It's very hard to figure out a future or get a job. These things are kind of really huge and big, and they just need some guidance doing those things. They can't do that completely independently. That doesn't mean you do it for them. It just means that you guide them and encourage them, and they do need some help. Be the bridge. Be that coach and that cheerleader that they need you to be. Don't be that helicopter mom and do everything so they have nothing. They haven't learned work ethic. They haven't learned that they have to do something to get something. And the third is teach them that responsibility equals freedom. Remember before we were talking about obligation feels like a trap to kids? Well, teach them that responsibility equals freedom. The more responsible that they act, the more that they could ask for from you. The more that you'll trust them and let them do all kinds of things. If they're being responsible and they've been really responsible and they want to stay up later past their curfew, or they want to take their car someplace far, you're going to trust them enough to give them that freedom to do that because they've been responsible. And it happens our whole life. The more responsible we are at work, the more privileges we're going to get. The less responsible we are in life, the less freedom people give us. So much so that if we are so irresponsible that we break laws, we go in jail. Responsibility equals freedom, and irresponsibility equals a trap. And so we have to teach that to kids. The next thing I check out is sleep schedule. Make sure they're sleeping a good amount of time every night. 8 or 9 hours for a teenager is very important. And going to bed the same time every night, waking up the same time every day, I know that is crazy for a teenager. But if your teen is having trouble with other things, you're going to have to come down heavy on their sleep schedule. Make sure that they're getting enough sleep. Now, if your kid's doing well and everything's fine, you're probably not watching this video, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you're watching this video and really struggling with getting your kid to do stuff, get them on a good sleep schedule. Have them sleep at night instead of during the day. Because if they're up at night, there's a lot of isolation going on, and it's really hard for them to be motivated about doing things in life. If they're up during the day, everybody's up and moving, and they feel like part of the world. And the next thing I want you to think about when you're trying to motivate your team is the carrot. Having something that will motivate them. Find out what's really important to them, and you put that on the table. We all have so many excuses that our brain gives us not to do stuff. We're too tired. I don't feel like it. I don't care. I don't want to. It's too much. Ugh, I don't feel like it. I said that again, but that comes up a lot. That takes priority. Being comfortable, being relaxed, resisting, that all takes priority over what your agenda is for them. And so you have to give them something that's important enough, that carrot, to supersede that I don't care, that doesn't sound like fun, that doesn't sound comfortable, all those things that is much more important for them than doing what you want them to do. The last thing you do is make little goals instead of big goals. Big goals overwhelm the best of us. Give your teen little goals that they can accomplish and feel that sense of accomplishment. I do this for myself, and you can do this for yourself too. Now, if you want to motivate your child, you better be a good model in this whole thing. So think about all these things for yourself too. But for myself, I set little goals for myself and I celebrate each one. If I feel like I can't do something big, I make it smaller and do it so I don't feel like a big fat loser and failure all the time. I want to see some success, because when we see that success, it motivates us and it lifts us up and gives us energy for that next task. Break it down in little things. So I hope these helped you get that teen up and moving and doing those things that you know will help them be a better person and live a happier and healthier life. Hey everyone, it's Jody. Did you like this episode? If so, let me know and make sure you subscribe so you get that next one. If you want more information on how to love yourself and open your heart, visit me at jodyamen.com and join my newsletter. And in the meantime, stay present and let that you want to be shine through.